After winning the amazing race, Kim and I realized that we could win at anything as long as we work together. Now, we want to unlock that win at anything potential in you.
Chip and I are so inspired by promoting happy, healthy, and thriving relationships.
Oh, you can't be sounding all coquettish, girl. You know how you expect me to concentrate on anything, but you know what?
You're so cute.
Welcome to this episode of My Queen and I. Oh, how you doing today, baby girl?
How are you?
Oh, I'm fantastic. Well, I'd like to welcome you all to My Queen and I. And man, you guys, if you see, yellow is my favorite color today, baby girl.
Why?
Oh, because
am I wearing it?
Oh, yeah, you are wearing it.
I'm
looking
glad you noticed.
fantastic, all bright and sunshiny. So, Kim, super excited that Mareya, the super chef, is on today.
Yay! I can't wait.
But no, she's not only on by herself. And I was going to say her last name, but I don't even know her new last name because she is a newlywed. She's just gotten married to Gabriel, and now they're coming on the show today to discuss what it's like to be single for so many years and to finally find their soulmates.
There you go. A second chance at love.
Oh my God. And Kim, I know you're excited because we all know that Mareya is the fit foodie. That is the name that she's known by. She's a TV chef, a nutrition coach. She's an author and also a patented inventor. And Kim, you know what her and her dad patented, right? Tell me the name of that.
I sure do, because I use it all the time. Eat cleaner. And we all need it right now in today's time, right?
Right, Kim. And they've even won awards with that patent that they have. But we're so excited to see them, and they're going to be calling in. And look at that. Oh, my God. What'd you guys pop on?
We've just been hanging out.
Oh, my God. Wow. You two look fabulous.
I love it.
You guys.
Wow.
And look at that yellow Mareya's wearing. Look at her. Okay.
Wait, did you?
A little bit of lemonade out of these lemons that we're working on right now, right?
Hey, Gabriel, we didn't get the coordinate call, did we?
No, right?
Right, man. It seems
shirtless.
Right there. Yeah. No, please help me. No, because
I was nice. I didn't say anything when Gabriel said go shirtless.
Wait, okay, because people respect me now, Gabriel. Okay, so I'm gonna keep my shirt on. All right. Well, you guys, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedules. Gabriel, I know you're busy with your commercial real estate business, and Mareya busy with. Mareya, you make me tired just thinking about your life. And before we even start talking about marriage, Mareya, I know with with this quarantine going on and people really paying attention to cleanliness and clean, your Eat Cleaner product, Mareya, it must be flying off the shelves now. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's it's kind of crazy, and I guess it's a mixed blessing because the last 10 years we've been working on just impressing that fact on people that food safety is so critical. It starts in the kitchen. And, now more than ever, we know that although fresh produce there's no risk of it necessarily carrying COVID-19, but it can be contaminated by people. So that can be from not properly washing your hands and then contaminating the produce. You're at the grocery store and everybody's picking and squeezing and all of that. And you can cough on it or sneeze on it, or it can be contaminated from a surface. So, Eat Cleaner to the rescue. I hope everybody will continue to understand that,
Oh, man, that's just amazing, Mareya. I tell you, seriously, I love you so much. We've been friends for a long time, and I want you to succeed so much. I just want you all out there, if you're hearing me right now, go out to eatcleaner.com or MareyaIbrahim.com and check out her site, because we're not going to be talking about that today, which I'm kind of sad about. We are going to be talking about Gabriel and Mareya, the newlywed couple. So you guys, you are newlyweds.
Okay, how long?
How long?
2 months.
How many?
Almost. It'll be 2 months.
2 months.
15.
Okay, yeah.
Wow.
Feels like 2 months.
Oh my God.
No, in a good way. It's good. Actually, like, it's kind of funny because we're very blessed that we were able to have the wedding when we had it. I mean, literally, it was February 15th. It was the day after Valentine's Day.
Wow.
It was like the most beautiful, epic day, the most amazing day of my life, with the exception of having my kids.
Yeah.
And we had our loved ones there, and it was beautiful. And then literally 2 weeks later, we were in quarantine. So it's kind of, it seems like a long time, but not really, you know?
Wow, Mareya, that must really be something. So most of your married life has been, you've been in jail. So you guys are really getting, hey, Gabriel, how does it feel getting to know each other like that?
Right? Welcome. So February 15th, we get married. We closed on a house 2 days before the wedding. Wow. Mareya packs up all of her old house that she's been in for 2 decades almost. Well, for about 10 years. I pack up my place I've been in for 10 years. We move in here, great, beautiful house that we love. We're like, gosh, we're really going to be able to enjoy this house. And we're like, let's get out of the house.
Okay. Gabriel, now you're speaking to me. I feel like I'm in jail. I can't stand being in the house. It's driving me crazy. But for Chip, he loves it.
No, I won't say I love it. It's just that even though, Mareya, I'm a people person. However, I'm an only child. So, I guess I'm more acclimated. Kim reminds me of like a 16-year-old little kid who just got their driver's license. So anytime I'm thinking about this, Kim say, I'll go to the store. She just don't do anything. So I just send her to the store all day.
Oh, we've been coming up with all kinds of things. We just, we're like, do we need anything in the house? Yeah, we probably do. Let's go run an errand.
Right.
Like, I need to go to my office. I'm like, can I come with you?
Right.
But at the same time, we're very grateful that we're in the home that we're in, and God's timing was amazing because had it been delayed by a week or 2 weeks, I don't know if we could have even gotten married.
Wow.
And all that planning and all of that expense and everything, it would have been challenging. So my heart goes out to the people who didn't have a chance to do it, who have to postpone until who knows when, Right.
Mareya, I'm going to ask you this question. I know that you have children who are teenagers. Is your son a teenager too now? Or? No.
They're adults. Their daughter. I mean, how old is your daughter now? That's right.
Well, I have, Sophia, she grew up before your very eyes.
Right, but wait.
And she's not a teenager.
Wait. Tell me, how old is
teenager?
She's going to be 19 in June.
I told you. Kim, what are you talking about?
That's an adult.
Right,
she's not a teenager.
Okay, Mareya, see, that's why Kim and I get along so well. She's saying 19 isn't a teenager, and I just agree with her.
Yeah, 19, and she's in her first year of college, and Luca will be 15 this year.
Right.
In November. And when I started the business, Sophia was like 7.
Mm-hmm.
When we first got started, and Luca was 3, 2.5, something like that. So they've really grown up in it, and we've grown up together in a lot of ways,
Right.
For 13 years, I, was a solo parent, and, all the challenges of parenting in addition to growing a business, kind of crazy.
But Mareya, here's what I like to do. As you know, the purpose of My Queen and I is to give people tips and nuggets along the way. Mm-hmm. And there may be somebody traveling down the road from which you just came. Yeah. So could you, whatever you can share to help somebody, talk about the trials, the tribulations, not only with the children, but of maybe I don't know. I'm just making it up. Maybe being alone, wanting a man, finally finding a man. That, and then Gabriel, I want you to do the same thing. So while she's talking, you think of your story, okay, Gabriel? Okay. So talk about the years between.
That's a long road, Chip. It's a long road, and what I can say is that in hindsight, every step of the way happened the way it was supposed to. I made a decision to leave a marriage, and my children were very young. My son was just 1, and my daughter was 5.5 at the time. And it was, it's never easy, but I had to do it. And sometimes you have to make those really tough decisions for the betterment of your family and your kids and your own well-being. And, at the same time, I kind of felt like if I stayed in the career job that I was in, how was I going to do that and be a good parent to my kids? How was I going to go to events? I mean, I had a very grueling job. I was vice president of client services for a large marketing agency, and we did events every single weekend.
Wow.
So the lifestyle that I had in my work was not conducive to being a single parent. And so I had to make some decisions and a lot of sacrifices. And, when I decided to start Eat Cleaner with my dad, it was a big gamble, leaving a salary job with stock options and all the benefits. And even my own family was like, are you crazy? Like, you're going to do this on your own?
And Mareya, now you started Eat Cleaner. You started Eat Cleaner after you were apart from your first husband.
Yes.
Oh, great. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. And, I think the big thing that I learned in that whole period is that it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to take a step back, because I was so used to like doing things on my own, career woman, taking care of business. And my parents moved here from Colorado so that they could help. My dad and I started the business together. I moved back in with them. I had to short sell my house and move back in with them. And that was like that was hard on me, hard on my ego. But I put my ego to the side so that I could do something better. And I have no regrets. I mean, it has been a tough journey. You know what it looks like to be entrepreneurs, and, you don't have a consistent paycheck. And for years, I didn't pay myself a penny. So I had to do a lot of side hustles. I did catering gigs. I helped with marketing other companies just to be able to make ends meet. And you get to the point where you can eventually fly, and you never take those things for granted. I never take a hot shower for granted.
Wow.
I never take having money in my bank account for granted. Because there were times when I didn't have any of those.
Right.
So I think, that's the biggest thing that I learned. And then priming myself for being a strong, good person in a relationship, because you can't bring your baggage with you if you want something healthy.
Wow.
There you go.
All that,
That's so great. That's so great. So Gabriel, up until the point when you met Mareya, how has that been?
It's great. It's interesting with Mareya and I's story is that we kind of went similar paths for quite a while, including the year we got married, including the year we got divorced, including hearing her talk right now. There was a time in my kind of feast and famine career that I've had where my parents moved in, and then our moms passed away together within months about a year ago. And so we've kind of lived real parallel lives apart, and could recognize the importance of arriving at the right time.
I like that.
So I noticed that arrival on our first date.
Whoa. Wow.
Tell us about that.
Wow.
And ever since there, it's been a real blessing. You know, I like what you guys call it. It's the queen and I, right?
Yeah.
But you have to recognize what a queen looks like.
Yeah, baby. Yes.
Especially when she's Egyptian. She's gonna
Queen Nefertiti.
So it took me a good decade or so to realize what a real queen should look like, because it's just not all about the outward appearance, but there's just so much more to it. And so I feel really blessed to kind of have gone through what I've gone through to see where I'm at now, to be able to really appreciate it.
Oh, that's
they're newlyweds. Look at that.
Get a room.
We were going to do this interview from the bathtub.
That would have been cool.
You know, I should do
That was Dave's idea.
Yeah. Okay, question here. Kim and I, people notice that we have blessed by God marriage. I mean, we really do. It's not Kim and me. It's God. However, we get these young couples come up to us, Kim, oh my God, I have a relationship with Derek that's just like you and Kim. I say, really? How long have you been together? We've been together 6 months and we haven't even had one argument. And then me and Kim say, oh, that's what we say. Mm-hmm. They haven't.
Wait till that
so
comes.
I gotta ask you guys, do you know that you love each other yet? And by that, I mean, have you gotten past a big one yet?
No.
Not yet?
Never really
Okay.
a major argument.
Okay.
So, yeah, about a month ago, no, just right after we were kind of moving in, I think.
Yeah.
We were moving in, a lot going on. And Mareya, I grew up right down the street too, so I kind of knew everything. And literally every time we left the house, she would turn the opposite direction of where we were going. She never knew where we were at. And so there was just like kind of this daily frustration of not knowing where she's at.
Right.
And it kind of translated into like, are you really kind of there for me? Do you know what I gave up? Like, I don't know anybody here.
Right.
My business is, kind of going to be at home now. And so she kind of sat me down for like, you're not there for me. And, we're not on the same page and kind of having our first, like, how are we going to get through our argument?
There you go.
Part of me wanted to start laughing. I was like, that's an argument? I'm down for arguing. Like,
That was too easy.
down, kind of talk through it, relax, like be like not in the heated moment. I'm like, I'm down with this conversational arguing instead of
Right.
The blow up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
You know how to
I
handle
think
it.
Parents that like didn't know how to discuss things, and I think that coming out of relationships where like you can't rationalize with anybody who's heated in that kind of emotional way. And I know Gabe's personality and is I think we know each other's triggers, and like I always want to be respectful when I come to him. Like. It's never going to serve either one of us if we have a different opinion. If I like lose it for nothing, or I really believe in something, if I'm super hyper emotional, he's just going to see the emotion and he's not going to hear what I'm saying. So I feel like we talk through things, but and maybe we've argued, but like nothing to where it's just like things breaking and people crying. Like it doesn't get to that point, and I think we're mature enough to know how to read each other and serve each other that way.
That's so important.
Well, here's the deal.
Catch us in our 20s, it might have been a different story. In the 30s, it would have been a different story. Now it's,
Now it's different, And I think you have that rear view mirror and that time, like we both spent 13 years pretty much like trying to figure out who we were supposed to be and who we were supposed to be with. And when you find it, it's like, holy moly, like that's the one, that's the guy I've been praying for. And like, I cherish that so much that I would never want to jeopardize it by doing something that's like so short-sighted,
Well, you guys, I think it's pretty rude of you to take over my show and say the crap I'm supposed to be saying. I mean,
I know.
you guys. No, that's really key what you've said. And just know this. I will say this from my vast experience. When or if that big one does come, just remember this. Remember how Gabriel has your back.
Yeah.
How Mareya has your back, and how people make mistakes. And if you could, when you get so mad, if I remember, man, how does she feel about me? Does she want my highest? I say, yeah. So she made a stupid mistake, but I'm gonna get over it because I'm gonna let that stupid mistake erase all the love she has for me. So.
Yeah.
I think, for everybody listening and watching, I think Gabe brings up a really good point. Like in our 20s, you kind of have this, I'm going to call it naive idea of what love is supposed to look like in a lot of ways. And I know I did. And I think this fairy tale vision of like, well, the guy is supposed to serve me and do, it's like, no, it's mutual. You serve each other. Like there isn't the idea of being a queen is not like I'm on a pedestal and you're down here. It's right. He's the king too. So we're equals in how we approach everything. And like, I think everybody needs to give each other grace. And at the same time, like, know how to talk through things. Communication's so key. And if your way of dealing things is by exploding every time, like you're never going to get your way. Right. Right. Nobody hears that. They just screen it out. And it's something I need to work on with my son because a teenager is sometimes challenging. And right now with all the kids staying at home, it is brutal. I don't know how to homeschool. I'll be honest. And I'm trying to get my work done at the same time. So like practicing that same grace with our kids too, so that they know how to model it for their relationships.
Well, speaking of that, now with the kids at home and you have to do that. Okay, you guys are newlyweds. How do you guys get to your romantic, emotional, and physical relationship with the kids right there at home? I mean, how can you tell other couples? I mean, what's the best way to obtain that? I mean, what are you guys doing romantically right now?
It's more like what we aren't doing.
Like that hasn't gotten in our way, really.
Wow.
We send them to the basketball court down the street. Play.
Wow, that's so awesome.
Don't be tongue-tied, Gabriel. Come on now.
Wait, Gabriel's just thinking about what they did before we started filming today.
Let's just say it's brought back some memories I've kept hidden in the back of my mind when I was a teenager and my parents would have to go take a nap.
Right. I got you. I'm tired, right? Mareya, what would you say? Because there are women out there right now who are looking desperately for Mr. Right. Yep. And they may be losing hope. And it may not be 13 years. It may be 7, 8, or 9 years. Yeah. What do you tell that lady who really wants her soulmate?
Yeah, and she wants a second chance at life and love.
Wow, that's a whole topic in and of itself. I was looking through a couple of old journals as I was unpacking, and I was laughing at some of my journal entries because it was just like so dumb. I like had this vision of what it should look like. And then, I think for me, the refinement and the development of my character deepened with my faith so much, instead of just relying on myself, that I really turned it over to God and said, God, I want somebody who loves you first and then will love me and then will love my kids.
Ooh, preach, girl.
Priorities.
Preach.
I mean, to him, all the glory. But, praying and valuing yourself. Because I think we get to this point where we get so desperate, we're like, I don't want to be alone. I'm going to just settle for right now.
Yeah.
And my biggest piece of advice is don't tangle yourself up in something that is not what you deserve. And it is a distraction. Instead, spend the time on yourself. Like, you know, I don't think I could have developed my business the way I did. You know, I don't think I could have developed some of the things that I love to do, like just, you know, hobbies that I wanted to cultivate and spend time with. I don't think I would have had the relationship with my kids that I have.
Yeah.
So instead of looking outward, spend the time on developing you and pray for what you want. And I really recommend writing it down, you know, putting your own handwriting to paper and write down the qualities of the person that you're looking for, because I am not lying. You know, I was waiting for Gabe for a long time, but once I wrote it down, I met him the next month.
I love that.
Wow. Gabriel, I'm a heterosexual man all the way. But you a good looking dude. Okay.
Very handsome.
So what I have to say, I'm not just leaving that out there. I got a reason for saying that, okay? And that wasn't just something burning for me to say. So let me get this out, because I can't leave that as the last words.
No, you can't.
If I can't be your Dale.
Chip and Dale, baby. Yeah.
Maybe.
I have to say that you, 13 years, you have had plenty of the proverbial frisbees thrown at you over all these years. Why did you decide to catch the Mareya frisbee?
When Mareya was speaking right now, it reminded me of this story. One of my best friends was this bartender at this Italian restaurant that we really like, and there's just a little 10-seat kind of bar there, and everybody gets to know each other. And this lady who was about 70, she was 75, because I remember she walked in, she was really dressed up, and I'd seen her and we had talked before. She was really dressed up, and I asked her why she was so dressed up. She goes, "It's my 75th birthday." And we got to talking, and I asked her, she was single, and she's like, I asked her, I go, "What is your age range?" Because my dad had recently become widowed, and she was a nice gal. And she goes, "Oh, guys, mostly my age, maybe 70, but not younger." And I was like, that's different, you know? It's like, why not under 70? She goes, "Those guys aren't mature enough for me."
Wow.
But it got me thinking. I was like, if I could give women one advice, or even goes to guys too, I was ready for Mareya when I was mature enough to be ready for Mareya.
Wow.
And I think that guys show their maturity very early on in a relationship and in dating. Either they're going to make an excuse for something they did, or you can just see it in their, you know, relationships, or the way they treat their kids, or their work, or just something they say to you out in public, you know? So I wasn't ready for the quality of a woman that Mareya is until I had had enough maturity in my own life to kind of recognize what it is. So
wow. That's deep. Wow.
I know that, you know, it's interesting you say frisbee, you know, because like the frisbee never comes back, like unless you can throw it the right way. A boomerang always comes back.
Right.
So it's like, in those years when I was like single, it's always just like a boomerang, throwing out, comes right back.
Right.
Now it's like,
right.
I don't have any frisbees to throw anymore. I got this, but it's
there
crazy.
you go.
Oh.
There you go. There you go. Well, awesome. Well, Kim, I know before we got on this call, we were talking about Mareya because we've been knowing her so long. But Mareya, you have always handled yourself in person, on television, wherever. You brighten up a room. Wherever you come.
Do.
No, you really do. I have to just say this right now. You make me feel, when you're talking to me, like I'm the most special person in the world. And I'm like saying, "Why I feel special?" But then, but what I'm saying is, you do that with everyone.
Everybody.
You're not one of these people who, you know, like flits around and, you know, you pay attention. When you're talking to somebody, you talk. So, Gabriel, I'm just going to tell you, you're a lucky man, because you have her attention, man.
Oh yeah, he does. Yeah, I mean, I guess this again, like, I couldn't do it without my faith, you know? I mean, I see the humanity in people, and like, we don't have to agree on politics. We don't have to agree on, you know, lifestyle choices, but I can see the creation in you and respect that, you know? And I think that if we all just took a minute to not only like with each other, but especially in our relationships with the person that's next to you, is not, we're in it for the long haul, you know? And I don't want to look back and say, gosh, I could have been nicer, or I could have treated him better, or I could have said something like, I don't want to leave anything behind. So it's all on the table. So I do wear my heart on my sleeve, and I think sometimes that's bitten me in the butt. But I'd rather be an earnest and kind person than, you know, have a hardening of sorts. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Definitely.
Now, either one of you could address this one, because you have kids too, right, Gabriel?
Correct, yeah.
How many do you have?
I have 3 boys.
Wow.
So I have twins that are 16 and a 20-year-old son.
Wow. Woo. That's awesome. So here's the thing, Mareya, you've touched on it, and Kim and me, we live by the prioritization of God first, Kim second, the kids third. And then any newlyweds, we tell them your marriage isn't going to work unless it's like that. However, since we have not experienced it, I want to hear from you guys, whoever wants to talk. You probably know that's the priority, but how the heck are you guys going to put God first and each other second when, Mareya, you have Sophia, and you know you've been with her, you know, way more longer than you. So how are you going to work that in, or how? Yeah, just talk to me about that.
Sure. Today, when I was reading the book this morning, there was a scripture that I had seen so many times in my life, but it kind of read it through new eyes, being married again. And it just talks about loving your wife to the fullest extent. And what I spoke about earlier, the maturity thing too, is that a lot of things, like before, we sounded so cheesy, you know, those catchphrases, love your wife, love your life, you know, like that kind of thing. And, you know, here's the order of life, and you follow these, and, you know, happiness reveals. But you don't really know. What I've realized is that I don't really know how to love Mareya the way that she truly, to the depths of her. Like, I can give her presents, I can make her a pancake, I can do different things to show her, but the depth of love that she really truly feels is really something that I have to learn from God, and something that if I know that God loves me for this way, how do I transpose it onto someone else? So I felt that entering this marriage was that priority is a beautiful way to live daily, not just something you kind of think about on Sundays, or, you know, you read a book every now and then about, but really, if I can strengthen my relationship with God, what flows from there? And that's what I've been trying to focus on. And so far, you know, I mean, the thing about God's love is that the depth and the width, it expands forever. So the more we learn about it, the more we can put it into practice to our wife, and then that gets going to our kids, because I have 3 boys, and if I have a gift to show them again of how to love a woman the right way.
Wow.
I love it.
Even though it's kind of difficult for them to see because they love their mom.
Right.
You know?
Right.
They would like their dad to love their mom probably that way. Eventually, you know, they're old enough now where those things that I'm planting in them now, they'll hopefully sprout the right way because they can see it for the first time in their dad's life.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I feel the same way about Sophia and Luca. You know, I want Sophia to see what you know, our relationship looks like, so she has something to model, and likewise to see for Luca to see how Gabe treats his boys, and because Luca's never really grown up with a father figure, so I think, and I think just collectively, I think when we are doing that for each other, during our wedding ceremony, we did something where everybody got to pour sand into one container, and it symbolizes all of us coming together. And we did that very intentionally because we wanted all of them to feel like they are one. And so, while we may have to prioritize ourselves, them knowing that they're important, they're valuable, and that we want them to be bonded together too. It's going to take some getting used to, but we want to set the tone for that,
Quick little story. So, during our 13 years of not knowing each other between our marriages and being married, there was a couple heartbreaks here and there. And one of them that stung a little more than the rest, kind of, there was a gal and she had a little daughter. And after we broke up, I asked her, I said, what was it? We kind of, what was the reason behind the whole thing? And she goes, I just didn't see you as a guy that my daughter could look up to. And I took it in, and I kind of wrote for an hour. I wrote for like a month and just kind of like didn't want to be around people. And I asked the Lord, I remember saying, I go, God, if you ever allow me to have another Sophia in my life, because the little girl's name was Sophia.
Whoa!
And so then after I met Mareya and she said that her daughter was Sophia, I was like, God's got an interesting sense.
Wow.
That is
Sometimes
amazing.
God whispers, and other times he's like, boy, if you don't get this, I don't know what else I can do.
That is amazing story. Thank you.
Something similar happened, not to digress, but something similar happened with me too. And it's weird how this works, but it's so divine. And he shared that with me on our first date. Something similar happened where I just, my dad had cancer, and I just, it's played such a big role in just our adjustment of life and stuff. And just like literally a couple of days before I met Gabe, I just felt this whisper, like, the guy you will be with is a cancer survivor. Don't ask me where that came from, other than like God whispering it. And he shared with me on our first date that he had lymphoma when he was in his 20s and is a survivor, and showed me the scar. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is the guy. This is the one.
Oh.
So it is. It's true. It's like literally sometimes God shouts at you and says, pay attention. This is the moment you've been waiting for. So if you're wondering, like, God, is this the right guy? And you haven't heard the answer yet, like, it's probably not the right one.
Right.
Oh, no, you definitely know about that. But I want you two to know, I see you guys on Facebook and your pictures, and of course, your beautiful writings and your stories, Mareya. You guys keep up the good work, because you two have to know you're such an inspiration to couples out there right now. You really are. And the fact that you two were able to come together and mix. I mean, you guys are a blended family now, and there's so many out there. Everybody wants a second chance at love, and it's good that you guys are showing people that it's a possibility. And that's what I love. So keep that up.
So Gabriel,
you guys inspire us too. I mean, just seeing how you are together and all the years that we've known each other, and how your kids are. I mean, that's a direct reflection of you guys too. And so you don't realize how you impact people. So thank you for being the inspirations that you guys are too.
Oh, thank you. Well, Gabriel and Mareya, I want to ask you this. Is there anything else that you would like to share with a person? And I guess here's who I would like you to talk with. Of course, the audience is people who are wondering if they'll ever find their soulmate. Would one of you like to expound on that, to give them some your views on that?
Sure. That's a tough one, because I see people that are walking in faith daily, and I don't understand how it hasn't happened for him yet. And then, but it's still just continuing to keep the faith and letting your guards down in order to possibly be hurt again. You know, sometimes people, I think, are too worried about the next step, 4, 5, 6, and 7, that they don't start with 1 by just saying hi to someone, you know, and being that open person that someone would want to talk to, you know? Yeah. So I think that's probably what I would say.
Yeah. And I think to add to that, you know, what I was saying before, like, don't stop working on yourself. You know, you want to come to the relationship in the best possible condition you can, you know, and I'm not talking about just physical. I'm talking about, like, when you come together, you're going to have anything to talk about. Are you, you know, have you cultivated a talent? Do you have something that brings you joy that you can practice every day? Because somebody that shares the same types of joy, like, you know, Gabe and I love, we're active. In fact, we were playing basketball yesterday, and, like, yeah, I'm in a knee brace right now. It's physical.
Oh, but, my God.
I'm just kidding. But we love to be active. You know, we play tennis. We like to hike. We like to be by the ocean. You know, we have been surfing together. We like to travel. Like, know who you are so that you attract the right person to your lifestyle. I see a lot of people that are like, you know, they kind of perpetrate something else and then they attract the wrong person to them. Like, if you really enjoy doing something, you can't imagine your life without it, don't be shy about that. You'll find somebody that will enjoy that too. Because if you have to give that up, that's going to hurt you and it doesn't work in the long run. So know what your core values are, know the kind of person that you're looking for, and pray and be patient. You know, I mean, being patient is not easy. And I just will say over and over again, like, just don't settle.
Wow.
That's good.
Well, you guys, we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. The nuggets that you've given people who still have hope, who still have faith, is very valuable. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And could we please triple date instead of you and CJ them double date? Could we please triple date?
We would love that. Yes.
Well, we love you guys. And Gabriel, I can't meet you today, but but we'll meet very soon after this quarantine is over.
Yeah,
right?
Love you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Wasn't that fantastic?
Okay, it was awesome. Awesome. Love them.
Man, I tell you, Mareya and Gabriel, I mean, I was thinking I looked good until, then they come on the screen making me look like the Beauty and the Beast up in here, you know? But anyway, we're going to do like we always do. I want to thank you, my beautiful love, for joining me on this.
Thank you.
I love you so much. And I want you out there to know, if you make her your queen, every day you spend on this earth will be a little slice of heaven. Thank you. We love you guys.